Hello my crafty friends, it's Crystal with Happy to Plan. I'm going to be sharing with you creating my junk journal. I'm doing a little bit of series on a traveler's journal I'm going to be making for a trip that I'm taking to Washington, Seattle and Tacoma specifically. And today I'm going to show you some of the papers that I selected and how I'm going to be building out the journal in regards to the paper selections. So let's go ahead and get started and we'll show you what I came up with. So as I mentioned in my last video, me and my sister are going to go visit my kiddo in Tacoma, Washington, and so I decided that I'm going to make a couple of journals, one for me and one for her, and I made them pretty much the same, except I didn't have all of the duplicates of every single page of paper, so I do need to make a couple of different changes. So I'm just going to go through some of the changes that I made. Now in my last video I made the covers for these journals, and I just used some fake leather material that I had, and I am going to use this as the cover. But then I also wanted to show you some of the selections. So the cover is going to look like this. It's going to have this on the front, and then it's going to have this paper inside. So what I'm going to do is kind of create all of that today so that we can put this actually together and start decorating. So let me show you some of the papers that I selected. So I selected, this is a coloring book page that I got from a traveler's coloring book. I actually found it at the Dollar Tree and purchased it. I actually purchased two of them because I really love them so much. This is the second time I'm using it. I used it once in my New York journal and now again in this journal. So basically what I did was I took a piece of paper. I have this kind of notebook paper. This came from, I think it was a Gypsy, 7 Gypsy notebook kind of thing. It is a acid-free, archival, notebook that you could use for scrapbooking. And then I took the whole notebook apart and then I'm using it in here. So I liked this little picture of the cafe, and because we are going to be, one of the prompts that we're going to be using is going to be documenting where we ate. So I thought this would be a great little addition to it. We could, she could put the pictures up here, and then maybe put some decorations down here that maybe she could list out all the places that we went and ate over here. So but the problem was we didn't like the back page. The back page was kind of this kind of an English looking old world kind of town, and so we didn't think that went really well with this Tacoma, Washington thing. So basically what I did was I just glued it on to this page. So it's got the little flap here. She could actually also, change it and do the flap on the side if she wants. I mean, I don't really care. And then I did use some decorative scissors. I do realize now that I completely made it totally uneven, so I'm gonna probably have to recut that a little bit. And then what I basically did was I did a little side pocket here. So I just glued up the edges all around. And then now she's got a little pocket. Maybe she could keep the receipts or the business cards from the different things, or put additional pictures in here if she wants. So that's kind of, and so that's what I did for my sisters. And then for mine, I did this picture. And I didn't actually glue this one together yet, so I will be gluing this one here in a second. And then, so I did the little flap, and so this one I just used this scrapbook paper. It had this kind of U.S. postal kind of vibes to me, and I didn't necessarily, it's okay, but I don't love it. So, and it doesn't really go I'm okay with it, but it doesn't really go. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. So why don't I just do that now? So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. And I'm going to do the thing where I make a pocket. So I'm first going to glue it on to this page. And then I'm just going to go ahead and glue a little pocket here. So I'm just gluing up the two sides and then the inside. I don't think I want the pocket too deep, so that's why I went a little bit up on the glue. And you just glue it down. Press everything in. And so that will be my inside cover page. And the reason I made this the inside cover is I just think the whole image is really cute. I didn't want to necessarily, you know, cut off too much of the image. So I have a little flap here as well, so I can put whatever I want on the side. And then so these are the two inside covers. So I'm just going to put them off to the side. And then I did this page here. My sister wanted some additional color in her book. So I'm going to put this little piece of, actually I'm just going to start doing this stuff as I go along. So I'm going to put this little piece of ribbon here. She wanted some additional ribbons and stuff. So we liked this page because she really likes tickets and things like that, but we thought it was really busy. So I decided, so the back of it has this really cute little polka dot design. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and glue this above so that it makes little pockets for her so she could put stuff in there and journaling cards and things like that. So we're going to put this little piece of ribbon here. The issue is I don't know how much I want it to be sticking out. So actually I'm not going to quite do this yet because I need to create kind of the book itself and then figure out how far I want it to stick out of the book. So that is going to be her next page. And then she's got this on the other side. And then I wanted some additional journaling spaces. So I have this paper that has kind of this antique-y vibe. So I can journal on both of these places or put pictures or do whatever. And then I had the reason why I have this one really cool piece of children's notebook. It came from a dictionary page that I have, and I've been keeping this specifically for a travel journal. So I thought this would be perfect. So, and it's pretty flimsy. It was pretty old and kind of, you could tell it's kind of beat up and stuff. So I just glued it onto this page to kind of give it some additional, you know, support and keep it in there. And then, I also didn't really like the back of what the back said. So it kind of covered that up. So that will be my page there. And then, again, adding some additional color. I had this really cute little travel page from a children's book that I had. So this is actually going to go in the book like here. And I just loved the colors looked good together and matched so well. So again, just a little decoration, little pop of color. And then and then I have, why is this? And then I have this page here that I created. These came from, I have a really big 12 by 12. It's this whole 12 by 12. And basically all I did, and it was a notebook. So this was like a big, huge piece of paper. And I just trimmed it down. And then, and I think I kind of showed that to you in my first video. I showed you the full piece of paper, and it was kind of cool because I was able to do like this little triple fold thing. So we have lots of room to do a big huge spread here if we wanted to. We could do some stuff here and then some stuff here. So, or we could just, if we decide that we don't want this much space, we could literally just cut this off and use it elsewhere or something. But I thought it was really cool to have that kind of little flap there. So I did that for my sisters as well. And then and then I just cut one additional flap off and just used my decorative scissors to cut that off. And then for this one, I'm actually going to be, for my book, I'm putting this piece of paper, again from the coloring book, in the journal. And I didn't really like this backside, so what I'm doing is I'm just going to glue this onto this page. And then we're going to go from there. So I'm not going to glue it yet because, again, I wanted to add some ribbon potentially to it. And what I do is I like to add, if I'm going to do something like this, I like to add that ribbon. Oh, you know what? For this one, I was actually going to add the ribbon on the journal card. So that's okay. I don't have to, I can glue this together. But that's going to be one of the pages in mine. And then my sister, we're just going to have it be blank on both sides. And again, this is archival safe, so we can put pictures on that and not have to worry about it. And then I have this page. This is one of a page that I have for a one of my books that I have. So I thought this was really cute. It says on the way, and then it has a little travel here. So I'm going to put that on that side. I'm just going to actually flip through the rest of mine. So then because I really like how this actually looks together. So let me show you what it looks like in the book. So it's going to look like this. So I have this calendar page that I have, and I basically what it's going to be is going to be this. I loved how the kind of grays looked good together, and then I loved that the little peak of the bags were hanging out. So that is part of that. And then I have, this is my calendar page that I have. This is another little book page that I have. It was a little travel themed. It actually was the second part of this. So these two pages were together, and I just ripped it in half so that we could both have some of this paper in it. I just loved the little illustration, and I think it's so cute. I'm so excited. I love that piece. And then I just have another one of those little book pages that have a bunch of journaling. Again, I can do whatever I want with this. It's pretty open. And then I loved having vellum in my book, so I did include a piece of vellum with just this kind of like map page. It's got the red and white stripes that kind of go with that other little flip out that I have. And then I have this journaling page, or the scrapbook page that has the plane on it. So, and then it's all white here, which I will definitely have to contend with and figure out how I'm going to not make it white like that. And then my front cover is going to be this plain paper, and it's got the little compass thing here, so I'm going to decorate this. And then it's got the little pocket that I'll add to the back. I might have to trim it off a little bit more because it's a pretty deep pocket, and it might be hard to get things in and out of there. So I might have to trim that up a little bit. But I didn't really want to get rid of the little saying right here, but I might have to do it anyway. But anyway, okay, so let me kind of go through what it's look like once it's all together. Well, I mean, actually, I'm going to sew this together right now. So when I sew it together, I will flip through the final flip through of what all the pages look like. All right, so to continue with my sister's, she's got this little piece of vellum, again, kind of going with that polka dot theme that other page had. And then her bag picture is, her bags look like this. And she actually liked this little scenery picture, you know, because we're going to a city, so I don't think this is Seattle, but like, it doesn't really matter. And so we left her some space up here to do some pictures or whatever. So that's what her page is going to look like. And then we have this little piece, and this will be right next to the little bags, so she can do like a kind of full layout of packing the bags, or she can leave this by themselves and then put all the journaling on this side if she wants. And then I have it paper clipped, because what I did was I have this piece of paper that has this little camera on it, and it was white, and we didn't want it to be white on the back. So we're just going to glue these two pieces together. And I thought this was really cute. My sister is a photographer. She loves to take pictures. So I loved the little camera here. I thought she could cover up this part with a picture and kind of have the map behind it with the little camera. So I thought that was really cute. And then this is the back piece of that. So we're going to glue those two pieces together. And then here's the calendar. And then I have that same paper with the plane on it. And I just folded up the picture again, so she's got a couple pockets. And then this will be the front cover for her. I have this little plain paper clip that I just bought, so I'll probably give that to her. Oh, it would probably look really cute here because it's kind of the same color as that. Oh, that's where I'm going to put it. That's really cute. It's because it's matches that color. Okay, so that's her pages that I selected for her book. So what I'm going to do at this point is I want to put the book together. So the first thing that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to poke a hole in the middle and then put this, I bought some elastic, so I'm going to put this in there and then glue this. Well, this will be glued on afterwards. I do actually want us to be able to put a little charm on the side here. So I think I'm also going to poke a little hole here in the side to allow for some ability to put a little charm there. But I'm going to do that after I get everything glued down because I want to, it obviously has to go through this paper as well. So first things first, let's go ahead and kind of find the center of this paper and then poke a hole in it so that I can put the elastic in it. So let's see what the center of this is. This is 8.5. So then it would be 4.5. 8, what's half of 8.5? 4. 425. So it's right here. And then half of that is 425. So 2 right there. So let me just make sure. Measure twice. So 425. Yep. Okay. And then 425. Okay. So there's the little center dot. So basically I'm just going to take this pokey tool and I'm going to poke a hole in it. And I'm going to go back through the hole so that the fabric is kind of facing inward versus facing outward, if that makes any sense. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take this piece of elastic, and I don't know how big I want it, so I'm just going to cut some extra. And I'm going to weed this through. Okay, so I poked the hole and then I just ran one of the elastic ends through one of the sides, and that was pretty easy. Getting the second one in is a little bit more difficult because it is pretty a tight fit. So what I'm doing is I just put some tape at the end of the elastic so that I could weed it through with the needle. Helps if I go the right way. And then just take your time and weed it through. And then I had to, let me see, I did it. I might have to adjust it once I get everything in there, but I do need to at least knot it so that it'll stay. I'm just going to make them kind of the same size. So when the book is all together, once I actually get it all together, it'll just go over like that. So that might be a little tight actually. I want it to have a little bit of wiggle room, just a little bit at least. So that might be too tight, but let's go ahead and sew the book together and then we'll figure all that out. Okay, So the first thing you want to do when you're doing this is you want to make sure everything is the right way. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the pocket, at least from the inside. I'm going to wait and do the outside until I get the book sewn together so that I could put the little fiber on the end. Okay, so that's glued together. This I'm going to put in the middle, so you want to kind of like make sure it's in the middle. And then a lot of these, and then a lot of them are not necessarily exactly perfect from top to bottom, so you just want to kind of center them as much as possible. Just get everything centered. I'm going to, let me just clip that together. I'm going to run a bead of glue down the edges of this so that I can put this paper on. And I think I'm going to do a side pocket and then a top loading pocket. So I should probably punch a hole. I think I'll do the top loading pocket on this side. So I'm just lining this up and punching kind of like a little half hole. Maybe not too, I don't want it too deep. Just enough to see it. And then let's go ahead and let's go ahead and ink this up. Should have not glued that glue on there. So let's ink this up. And then I think I will also ink that up a little bit just to take some of that white off of there. Okay, now I probably have to do more glue because it's probably dry. So I'm only doing the inside just so it's easier to get that glue in there. And then I'll ink up the other edges later. Okay, I like that because then I can slide a journaling card or a tag in there. Okay. So then that goes here. And then we're going to put this. Really love the way that looks together. I think that's why I had this here to kind of break up that coloring. Okay. Yeah, okay. And like all that. Okay, that looks good. So let's do the same thing for this one. Okay, and then this is the cover. Okay, and now I'm going to put this way with the white part that I'm going to glue to this right here. And I want to make sure that this is centered because this piece is a little bit bigger, longer. So I really need to make sure that this is centered up and down. Okay, that feels good. And then I'm just going to clip the two ends together. Just going to flip through it one more time just to make sure that I have everything the way I want it. I mean, it's only a 3-day trip. 4 days, 3 nights. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke holes in the center of this. Let's find the center. Probably about a little over 4. I think I want to do, just to make sure everything is reinforced, I'm going to do like that. I'm going to do 6 holes. Especially since I have that little half page in there, I want to make sure that that half page doesn't just have one thing holding it in. Okay, so this is the fun part, punching a hole in all of these papers. You just have to go slow and try to get it as straight as possible. And I kind of twist it a little bit. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but it seems to work for me. I think a lot of people just like punch it in a book or something, but I like to actually see where it comes out on the other end. I'm not sure if you can see that little point, but it's coming out on the other end. Sometimes you have to adjust it. Okay, and then trying to decide if I want to make another hole here or if I want to use that one for the like the charm. I think that's going to be too low. I think I'm going to punch another hole just in this paper so that I could have like a little place to put a charm. Let's see if there's okay. So now I'm just going to take my big needle. I think I'm going to use this this brown thread. And what you want to do is you want to do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I always do extra for good measure. And I mean, you could use wax thread and all that, but I've used this is the thread I used for the New York Journal, and it's held up just fine. You'd think with this big needle head, you'd be able to get that in there a lot easier. Okay, so we're gonna come, I want the tails to be, I kind of want the tails to be on the outside. So I think I want to go this way. So you're just gonna weave it in and out. Eventually it's gonna get in there. Nope, that's not where the hole is. No, that's not where the hole is. The hole is right here. There you go. And then you just weave it back through. Okay, I'm gonna let them dangle a little bit just so if she wants to put a charm or something down there, she can. I don't know if that's gonna be enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna, let's make it be enough. So then I just go through this one thing and then you just tie it off. I always crisscross it. Tie it a couple of times. And like I said, if she wants to glue something on the ends of those dangling out of the book, she can, or she could just cut them. Okay, now we've got all the book together. And now what we're going to do is we are going to glue it to this. Before I do that though, I want to check the elastic to make sure that the elastic is the right length. Feels a little tight, but I'd rather have it a little tight. I mean, there's still quite a bit of give, right? And this is super new elastic, so as we pull it in and out, it's going to get looser and looser. At least that's kind of what happened to my New York one. So I feel like that's probably good. I don't want it to be too tight, but I definitely don't want it to be too loose. Okay, so I like that. So that's what we're going to do. So let me cut these off. Let me just make sure this is tight as it possibly can be. Okay. And then I think I'm going to just reinforce this a little bit by adding a little bit of glue kind of around the edge where the cardboard and the hole is. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the strings. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to glue this on. And I don't think I'm going to make it a pocket or anything. I'm just going to glue it on. And I'm going to use a pretty generous amount of glue. Not going to glue the inside seam there. We want that one to be open so that it has some flexibility. Okay, so I want the little strings to hang out, so that's going to be kind of and I want to lay down the knot as much as possible. It's going to make a little bulk, but that's all right. And then let me grab my bold folder. Just to get all of that glue spread all the way to the ends and all over. And I'm pushing the glue out because again, we don't want it in that seam. Okay, that feels good. Now let's get this other side glued in. And then we may have to adjust some of the edges if they're hanging off too much off the edge. but hopefully we won't have to do too much of that. This is always the kind of the tedious part. The fun part is actually decorating it and now you can see there's a little hole there, and it just gives us some wiggle room to kind of play with it and give it some bulk. I got those paper clips in there. Let me take these paper clips out just so I can feel what it's really going to feel like. Yeah, I feel like that worked. There too. All right, so that is going to be all for this video. I wanted to put this particular one together because I'm not doing a whole lot of decorating for her. She wants to decorate it herself, and so I'm not doing a whole lot of decorating for her specifically. I'm just going to put this in here because she wanted one of these. Oh, and I also want to make sure I have that in there, and I think I wanted to give her just a couple more things, but other than that, she's got her own travel stuff, and she's a scrapbooker, so she's got a bunch of stuff that she can use to kind of decorate it the way she wants to. I might give her like the cut apart, the cuttings of these pages, just so she has stuff that matches. But other than that, she's kind of got stuff she could use in her journals. So I am really not going to do a whole lot of decorating here. She's going to do that for herself. But I will, so I'll just give this to her kind of as is. But I will be putting my book together, and then I won't be showing you how I'm putting my book together. It's going to be the exact same way I'm doing this one. But you'll be seeing kind of the final flip through, and I'm going to do some decorating and some embellishments in this my journal, so you'll kind of have an idea of what my journal looks like kind of over time. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that next off camera, and then my next video is probably going to be me doing the cover page of my, so I'm going to do the cover page. My cover page is going to actually be this paper, because I only had one piece of this paper, and I sacrificed and gave it to my sister because she liked it better than the plains. Yeah, so I will be doing like a little title cover page for this in my journal. So stay tuned for that. That'll be the next video that I do. All right, so that is me putting together my journal, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.